While most people struggle to build wealth that lasts a single generation, there are families whose fortunes have endured for centuries. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts. These dynasties didn't just get lucky once, they've mastered something far more valuable than making money. They've perfected the art of keeping it. Today on Exposed Extravagance, we're pulling back the curtain on the strategies that separate old money from new money, and why 70% of wealthy families lose their fortune by the second generation, while these elite families seem immune to that statistic. The first secret isn't what you think. It's not about stock portfolios or real estate empires. It's about legal structures that most people have never heard of. Old money families don't simply pass down cash. They build dynasty trusts, generation-skipping trusts, and irrevocable life insurance trusts that create nearly impenetrable fortresses around their wealth. These aren't your standard trust funds. We're talking about legal entities designed to exist for hundreds of years, immune from estate taxes, creditors, and even the poor decisions of future heirs. Consider this. In states like South Dakota, Delaware, and Nevada, families can establish trusts with no expiration date. The wealth is owned by the trust itself, not by any individual family member. This means that when someone dies, there's technically nothing to tax because the individual never owned the assets. The trust did. But here's where it gets brilliant. These trusts often come with professional trustees, usually from white shoe law firms or private trust companies, who manage the assets according to strict guidelines set by the family patriarch or matriarch decades ago. Future generations can benefit from the trust, but they can't liquidate it, make reckless investments, or let it fall into the hands of creditors or divorcing spouses. The Rockefeller family has been using this strategy since the early 1900s. Their wealth is spread across dozens of trusts, each designed for specific purposes: education, philanthropy, business ventures. It's not one fortune. It's a distributed network of protected capital that no single person can destroy. Old money families understand something fundamental. Wealth preservation is a skill that must be taught, and it begins in childhood. While nouveau riche parents might spoil their children with luxury cars and unlimited credit cards, old money families take a completely different approach. They're famous for their frugality, their emphasis on education, and their almost obsessive focus on family values and responsibility. Children in these families don't just go to elite boarding schools for the prestige. They go to learn the informal curriculum, how to network with other wealthy families, how to carry themselves in high society, and most importantly, how to view money not as something to spend, but as a responsibility to steward. Many old money heirs work real jobs, often in professions like law, finance, or diplomacy. This isn't because they need the money. It's because the family understands that purpose and productivity are what prevent the destructive boredom and entitlement that destroys so many fortunes. The Vanderbilts learned this lesson the hard way. Despite being America's richest family in the 1870s, by the time 120 descendants gathered for a family reunion in 1973, not one of them was a millionaire. Why? Because they raised children who saw wealth as something to enjoy rather than protect. They built massive mansions, threw lavish parties, and never instilled the discipline required to maintain dynastic wealth. Compare that to families like the DuPonts, who've maintained their fortune for over 2 centuries by ensuring every generation understands finance, business, and the family's values before they receive significant access to wealth. Here's a secret that separates old money from lottery winners. They never keep all their eggs in one basket, and they think in terms of centuries, not quarters. Old money families pioneered what we now call alternative investments. While the average investor might be comfortable with stocks and bonds, these families have capital spread across farmland, timberland, art collections, rare books, precious metals, private equity, hedge funds, and even things like water rights and mineral reserves. Why? Because they've lived through enough market crashes, currency devaluations, and political upheavals to know that true security comes from owning real, tangible assets across multiple jurisdictions and asset classes. The Rothschild family has been perfecting this for over 250 years. They've survived the French Revolution, 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and countless economic crises by maintaining investments across different countries, currencies, and industries. When one market collapses, others remain stable or even profit from the chaos. But it goes deeper than simple diversification. Old money families invest in what they call generational assets, things that appreciate slowly but reliably over very long time horizons. Farmland in the Midwest, historic properties in European capitals, fine art and antiques. These aren't meant to deliver quick returns. They're meant to exist for the next 100 years. They also maintain significant liquidity, often 10 to 20% of their portfolio in cash or cash equivalents. This isn't inefficient capital. It's opportunity capital. When markets crash and everyone else is forced to sell, old money families have the dry powder to buy quality assets at fire sale prices. This is how they've grown wealthier during every major crisis in history. This is perhaps the most controversial secret, but it's undeniably effective. Old money families are strategic about marriage. Throughout history, these families have understood that marriage isn't just about love. It's the merger of 2 estates. They've used marriage to consolidate wealth, expand business networks, and ensure that family fortunes don't get divided and diluted through divorce or inheritance disputes. Today, this manifests in more subtle ways. Old money families tend to socialize in exclusive circles, private clubs, charity galas, alumni networks from elite universities. Their children naturally meet and marry people from similar backgrounds who understand wealth preservation and share compatible values about money. Prenuptial agreements are standard, not offensive. They're viewed as responsible estate planning, protecting both the family fortune and the business interests that support it. These aren't the adversarial prenups you see in celebrity divorces. They're comprehensive documents created with input from both families, often establishing trusts for future children and clear guidelines about wealth distribution. The goal isn't to prevent love or create cold, calculated unions. It's to ensure that marriages strengthen the family's position rather than creating vulnerabilities. A messy divorce in an old money family might inconvenience individuals, but it rarely threatens the core family wealth because of how everything is structured legally. Old money families run themselves like corporations, and this might be their most important secret. They hold regular family meetings, sometimes quarterly, where they discuss investment strategies, philanthropic initiatives, and family values. They create family constitutions, literal documents that outline the family's purpose, values, and rules for accessing wealth. Many families have family offices, private companies that exist solely to manage the family's wealth. These aren't just accountants and lawyers. We're talking about teams of PhDs, former central bankers, industry experts, and strategists who treat the family fortune like a sovereign wealth fund. The family office handles everything: tax optimization, investment management, estate planning, even coordinating family education programs. They might manage art collections, maintain properties, handle security, and coordinate philanthropy. The largest family offices manage billions and operate with the sophistication of major financial institutions. But here's the critical part. These structures create accountability. Family members can't simply withdraw money on a whim. They have to make requests, justify expenses, and often present plans for how they'll use capital productively. It's not about control. It's about ensuring that the family's values and long-term vision aren't sacrificed for short-term gratification. The Mars family, worth over $100 billion from their candy empire, has maintained wealth across 4 generations using this exact approach. Family members work in the business, participate in governance, and understand that they're stewards, not owners, of a legacy that extends beyond themselves. Here's something that seems counterintuitive. Old money families give away enormous amounts of wealth, and it actually helps them stay rich. Strategic philanthropy serves multiple purposes. First, it provides substantial tax advantages. Donations to foundations and charitable trusts can reduce estate taxes dramatically while still keeping the money under family control. The family might not own the foundation's assets, but they control how those assets are deployed. Second, philanthropy builds social capital and influence. By funding universities, hospitals, museums, and cultural institutions, these families ensure their names remain prestigious and their networks remain powerful. This opens doors for future generations and creates goodwill that can be invaluable in business and politics. Third, family foundations serve as training grounds. Young family members often join foundation boards, learning about finance, governance, and responsibility in a lower-stakes environment before they're involved in the core family businesses or trusts. The Rockefeller Foundation, established in 1913, has given away billions while the family fortune has continued to grow. The foundation itself is worth billions, employs family members, and ensures the Rockefeller name remains synonymous with influence and prestige. The secret to dynastic wealth isn't mystery. It's discipline, structure, and a fundamentally different relationship with money. Old money families view wealth as a responsibility, not a resource. They build legal fortresses around their assets, educate their children in stewardship rather than consumption, diversify across generations rather than quarters, and create governance structures that outlast any individual family member. They understand that staying rich is actually harder than getting rich. It requires sacrifice, planning, and the willingness to think beyond your own lifetime. The tragedy is that most people who achieve wealth focus entirely on accumulation while ignoring preservation. They die rich but leave their children unprepared, their estates unprotected, and their fortunes vulnerable to taxes, creditors, and bad decisions. The good news? You don't need to be a Rockefeller to apply these principles. You can create trusts for your family. You can educate your children about financial responsibility. You can diversify your assets and build structures that protect what you've built. The question isn't whether you can learn from old money. It's whether you're willing to adopt their long-term thinking and their discipline. Because in the end, that's the real secret. Old money stays rich because they never stop treating wealth like something that can be lost. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe for more insights into how the wealthy think differently about money. And let me know in the comments, which of these strategies surprised you most? I'll see you in the next one.